Hello there, and welcome to this new segment that I'm calling Enclave Makes Me Laugh. Today I'm going to be telling the story of just how much fast food workers do not care. I heard about this story recently, and now I'm going to tell it. It's a little bit graphic, so it is going to be uncensored. It starts at a restaurant that rhymes with schmack-schmonals. A white woman pulls into the drive-thru. You can tell that she's highly strung type of personality and she's used to bossing people around. She gets to the drive-thru window and says, "Look, I need your undivided attention. I have a really big order and you better not mess it up." The drive-thru window worker just stood there. He did not even pay attention to her. He just did not care at all. I just knew the drive-thru window worker was not in the mood for any shenanigans, and then the attitude of this white woman and her car told me that I knew this was getting good. He just stood there looking beyond her car. When I say beyond her car, I mean like she's sitting there, he's standing there, and he's just looking directly ahead, not even paying attention to her. A good 30 seconds goes by of this, and you could tell he was just doing this because she said she needed his undivided attention, so he just stood there and didn't say anything. Frustrated and now even more angry, the customer now yells, "Hello, is anybody in there?" The drive-thru worker just stayed completely stoic and stood there and just said, "One moment, please." And then he went back to staring beyond her car. Finally, she butts in, "This is unacceptable. Let me speak to your supervisor." "There you go," was his immediate response, like he was just waiting for her to ask to speak to him. "What did you just say? How rude of you. Go get your supervisor right now, and let me tell you something, buddy." And then right then and there, the drive-thru worker slams the window in this woman's face while she's talking. You can tell this woman's face completely turned off. It was hilarious. Now the supervisor and the drive-thru workers are all huddled by the window, and they opened it just to be bombarded with insults about unprofessionalism in the workplace. The supervisor has to just stand there, apologize over and over minor inconvenience. This lady does not care. She wants the drive-thru worker fired, and then she wants her meal free. That is crazy, right? Easy to meet because who does she think is gonna make her food? The guy literally has to take her order and then go and what? Just make her food and then be fired? That doesn't make any sense. After 5 more minutes of back and forth bickering between the supervisor and the drive-thru worker and this customer, it was determined that she was just not getting it. Nobody is making her anything at all. The drive-thru worker decided that he's just going to keep it going. He just wanted to push this woman over the edge. And he went into her order, her bag of french fries. It was unclear exactly what she ordered, but it didn't matter anymore. The drive-thru worker took one of the fries out of her bag and then threw it on her windshield. The drive-thru worker took and then watched it smear down the side of it, go down her car. And then the woman at the drive-thru went to open her mouth again, and just as she tried to yell something else, she was hit in the forehead with a french fry. "Shut up, bitch," is what he said when he hit her in the face with the fry. Totally embarrassed down. We watched in front of everybody. She left without her food. But I'm not done yet. Almost dying of laughter, the supervisor and the drive-thru worker basically played it cool. As long as she didn't come back, they were good. At least that's what we thought until the very next customer pulled into the drive-thru. She was a black woman in an SUV. She had her music blasting and was living life to the fullest. Didn't care about anybody. And here I was thinking that the last customer had black force Black Air Force energy. But this woman is definitely the final boss. Just wait until you hear how crazy this woman's story gets. The woman in the black SUV finally gets to the window, the drive-through, and the worker's already standing there again, and he's just looking past her again, like she's not even there. She finally rolls down the window, and the first thing out of her mouth is something to piss him off again. She says, "I want my mother effing food cooked fresh. And you better not get my order wrong or there's gonna be trouble." He says, "Man, I cannot wait to give you something nasty." He mumbled this to himself out loud, but he said it loud enough for everyone in the restaurant to hear him, especially the crazy woman in the SUV, which set this crazy woman off. She said, "You better not touch my food. As a matter of fact, go get your manager before I beat your ass while you're at work." And then she said, "That's why you work the drive-thru and not anywhere else, because you're too stupid to know better." Which is probably why a lot of people get the McNasty instead of getting the food that they wanted. You better believe I laughed off camera when I said the McNasty. "So should I add some more special sauce to your order or nah?" Is what the drive-thru said. And then she says, "Don't even worry about it." He says, "No, don't worry about it. I'll put some extra sauce in there for you." And then the supervisor butts in. Now he's mad. He said, "Why can't you just get these people's food without any drama? We're definitely going to have a conversation after this. Right after this customer." The fast food order finally makes her order, and then he walks it to the window to give it to her. He gets one more joke in. He looks at her and says, "I made sure not to put too much sauce in your order because I know you didn't want any. It's just how you like it." She ignores him though, so he goes to hand her the food. She reaches out to grab the bag. The second it touches her hand, about all four of her fingers, he just lets go of the bag and completely drops her food on the sidewalk, the ground, in the parking lot. Even the supervisor laughed at it. He said, "I thought you had it," said the drive-thru worker. The black woman immediately went to a 10 on the rage scale. She unbuckled her seatbelt and began trying to climb into the drive-thru window. She went ballistic. While she started going crazy, there were just too many swear words to count. They shut the window on her, but she ended up breaking it open with their bare hands, now climbing through the window, and she's halfway stuck and halfway still in this restaurant. They're trying to curse everybody out in the store. She finally squeezes her way into the store. Everybody's scared. Now I gotta go call the police. But then she pulls the phone cord out of the wall and slams it on the ground. And then she rips out the camera monitor off of the desk next to it. She's about to completely tear through the store. I honestly couldn't be any happier. So I left out of there for a good reason. I left in fear of my safety. I did not want to have to fight this woman or deal with her shenanigans. So my supervisor and the drive-thru worker are still there dealing with her. Apparently she left right after that and went for backup of her own. Her and 5 other people showed up and they had a standoff with the cops. They ultimately all went to jail. And everyone on the day shift was fired the next day. That's pretty messed up though, right? And thus ends the tale of working at a place called Schmack Schmonels. Finally, I end with some closing thoughts. It's not worth it. You have to be careful out here. It's not worth losing your life over a drive-thru argument. Also, I'm promoting 2 other videos. My Try Not to Laugh video part 3 and Try Not to Laugh a Dirty Bar Jokes edition. I'm promoting it as funny, funny, funny. And then after this, I am done for a while. So make sure you do that for me. Until next time, peace!